In this video, we will be going over the sensor feature. Synthesis currently supports 3 types of sensors: ultrasonic, gyro, and beam breaker. By adding these sensors to their robot in Synthesis, FRC teams can test their code logic and decide the optimal sensor placement. Similar to the robot camera configuration, we can also configure each sensor and change its position, rotation, range, and attachment node. When the robot is first loaded, there will be no sensors attached to the robot. To add a new sensor, first click on Toolkit, and then Sensor. The main camera will then focus on the robot to prepare for the configuration. In this camera state, we can use the left mouse to rotate, and the right mouse to zoom, just like an orbit robot view. The pop-up window shows 2 options: Add New Sensor and Select Existing Sensor. Since there is no sensor attached to the robot, let's choose Add New Sensor. Now, we'll choose a node to which the sensor will attach. For now, let's select Node 0 and click Confirm. Next, let's choose the type of sensor. Let's add an ultrasonic sensor. This blue box represents the ultrasonic sensor, and the directional light indicates the direction it is facing. We can click Confirm to continue, or cancel to choose a different type of sensor. Note that on the upper right corner, a sensor output panel appears. The panel shows information such as the name of the new sensor and the units of measurement. It's currently set to meters, but we can change to imperial measurements in the control panel within the simulator, or the Options tab from the main menu. Currently, the output reads 5 meters, which is the default maximum range of the ultrasonic sensor. We can also toggle between hiding or showing this panel, or dragging it to somewhere else on the screen. After we choose Confirmed, the main camera will then focus on the new sensor that we attached, and the configuration options show up in the lower left corner. The position, angle, and node attachment configuration is the same as the robot camera configuration, so if you have any problems, you can check out the robot camera configuration tutorial linked in the description. The main difference between configuring a robot camera and a sensor is that we are configuring the range of the sensor instead of the field of view. Note that range is defined differently for each sensor. For the ultrasonic sensor, the range is defined as its maximum range. We can see that the maximum range is 5 meters. We can change this by using S, or clicking Edit and entering a value. If we lift up the robot arm, the sensor value changes because the arm blocks the ultrasonic sensor. Paying attention to these behaviors can help programmers when they are coding the robot based on the sensor output. We can also hide the sensor by clicking Hide Sensor, or delete the sensor altogether. Let's add another sensor. This time, let's add a beam breaker to the arm. Select the arm and click Confirm. Note that the ultrasonic sensor we hid previously appears. Click Add Beam Breaker and confirm. 2 green boxes representing the beam breaker show up. The default position and height is not correctly configured to this robot. Let's place the beam breaker at the front of the arm using the controls for sensor configuration. For the beam breaker, the range is defined as the distance between the emitter and receiver, which we can change using the W and S keys. Again, we can also specify values. Click Edit, enter a range, and click Done, and then click End Configuration. Now, let's drive the robot towards a recycle bin. When the bin is in between the beam breaker, we can see that the sensor output changes from unbroken to broken. Okay, now the beam breaker is getting a little bit distracting and we want to hide it like the ultrasonic sensor. Open the toolkit, click Sensor, and choose Select Existing Sensor. Although the beam breaker is composed of 2 units, we can click on either one to select the sensor. Select the beam breaker and hide it in configuration mode. Lastly, let's add a gyro sensor. Although gyros in the real world return angular velocity, the output of the gyro in the simulator returns the current angle of the robot relative to its 0 position, since most teams make use of the angle instead of the angular velocity. When the gyro is first added to the robot, the sensor output isn't 0. Instead, it is an angle offset relative to the forward vector of the field. We can reset the 0 position to the direction the robot is facing by clicking Show/Edit Sensor Angle, which resets the position to 0, and Hide Sensor Angle to confirm. Note, sensor range does not apply to the gyro, so changing it will not affect anything. Thank you for watching this synthesis tutorial. Be sure to check out our other video tutorials. If you're interested in contributing to synthesis, make sure to check out our GitHub page as well.